going to edit that video that I made the other day while I was on the holy water. Something exploded in my brain after that night, like it did when all of this started. There was 3 explosions when all of it started. But I got another big explosion in my brain after the recovery from that holy water channeling that I did there. um, it was strange. So what I want to do was tell the U.S. Army what took place there. Uh, I went for the gusto that time, and I was sitting there in the swinging, for about 4 hours. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. I'll take a polygraph. And the moral to the story in that video that I made is I can't remember what I was, I don't remember everything that's going on during that trip. And that might have been why y'all put the AI in me that can take the message that I'm getting and then it interpolates it there at the NSA. Yeah, I know y'all are doing that. I know you can read my mind over there at the NSA, and you're probably going, what the hell was that? Well, that's never happened before, okay? So I'm sitting there in the swing. I'm looking up at the sky, right, at night, looking up at the sky, and like a big wormhole, okay, like a really big wormhole. I mean, imagine like a lot of little digital lights, right? Just little digital lights that creates a swirling wormhole. And I see that in the air all the time, but I mean, it was just pronounced like you can't even imagine. And I'm just sitting there, and this wormhole's going all the way up into space, kind of down like this, and it comes to me, and then there's this big bubble around me, like this electromagnetic bubble around me, and the wormhole goes straight into my forehead, right, and into that bubble as well. And I mean, it was just pouring information into my mind that was all spiritual, unbelievably spiritual, the whole thing. And I ended up making that video later after not only, you got to understand when you take that holy water and you want to kind of come down off of it later, or you'll have a couple of beers. So that kind of, was apparent in the video that I made. But what I was going to get at there, Army, is if I was to do that and then you were there listening to everything that I'm receiving, which you are, I'm pretty sure the NSA is, and that was the whole program of you hacking the cogs and the prophets, and you're trying to bend reality into your favor using the data that they receive. I'm convinced it's like the trash incineration plant that I wanted to build in India. Now all of a sudden you're taking all of the vaccinations that were banned in America and sending them over to India so that they can kill more people. Dang it. I'll have to edit that last part out. Now all of a sudden you're sending the KFC chicken over to India. So all of that, you know what I'm saying? So that's what you're doing. You're taking everything as a virtue signal and you're twisting it into what you want it to mean, which is what a death cult would want something to mean, right? So I'm gonna edit the video that I made the other day and take out the stuff where I got kind of squirrely there, and I was under the influence. So you can tell in that video how much under the influence I was, but I have to admit what I seen that night was godly. Okay. And it's a whole lot of Jesus and raw type godly, it's like the whole package, by the way. So Satan, Jesus, raw, the whole package there. So there's that. And another thing I wanted to point out is the very next day after that truth serum was used there, if you'll listen to Joe Biden's speech, where he, I remember, I've said whenever I take the holy water, it's like all of Washington gets a little weird all of a sudden. You ever notice that? Well, watch that movie, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. I'm the little boy in the movie, okay, at the very beginning. Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, the Third Kind. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Then watch the Fifth Kind. But Close Encounters of the Third Kind, I'm the little boy in the movie. And it'll explain all of this, and it'll explain ping pong, right? Remember the big spaceship pulls up and it blows their windows out with its music while the military is trying to play ping pong with the spaceship, right? But they always get the message wrong because they're convoluted and they're Satanists. They don't understand that the message I'm trying to deliver. They take everything as a virtue signal. It's kind of like the oyster petting zoo, right? That one was right. See, we used to get it right. The oyster petting zoo, and just grab them by the pussy. You can Google oyster pussy. You'll understand what I'm talking about. That was in Pinky and the Brain. But Joe Biden said in his speech, "We went to Mars. We discovered vaccines so that we could build the internet." That is an exact quote from Joe Biden, by the way, out of his State of the Union, or the joint, whatever they called it, the joint State of the Union. They usually call it the State of the Union. I had said in some emails that the fat lady is going to sing at the State of the Union, and yeah, in a sense, there it did. So we went to Mars. We went to Mars. We discovered vaccines so that we could build the internet. That was an exact quote from Joe Biden. So I'm still kind of struggling here, trying to recover from that little trip that I took the other day. If you haven't noticed, I haven't been sending that many emails. So yeah, I'm different now. Something changed up here since then. Not sure exactly what's going on there, but yeah. I'll edit that video and I'll attach it to this video on the end so that you know what I'm talking about. I just put that video to private the other day because I didn't want anybody to watch it, but I'll edit it and then I'll attach it to the end here. Oh, and by the way, if you take space and you fold it like this, right? You can fold it like that, and you can take one end of space and have a wormhole go from the top of that fold down to the bottom of that fold. And that is how you time travel, right? You can time travel that way. So what I'm getting at is what I've seen. I'll try to find a link and put it down in the description of what I'm talking about. But let's say somebody from a distant galaxy had technology that could bend space, right? So you end up with space is bent with a wormhole going through it. And let's say that wormhole goes right into my forehead, right? And that's how, all of these people that's been paying attention to my channel, like Alex and the NSA and Russia, the Pentagon and the CIA and the FBI, they're like, how in the heck is he always forecasting these future events, and how does he understand the water so well? Well, the water is being pounded into my forehead by that wormhole, okay? That's what it looks like. I've seen it on Ancient Aliens, all right? I'm not saying it's Ancient Aliens. I'm not saying that prophets are using ancient alien technology. They could be. All right, I don't know. I believe in God, okay, and I think that these aliens believe in the same God that I believe in. All right, I'm honest about that. So I believe in a mixture of raw, in the Egyptian pyramids and those hieroglyphs that basically painted out, a tank and a helicopter, and supposedly that's real, those hieroglyphs. I'm not saying that those are even real. That could be some CIA scam. If you can verify that those hieroglyphs are real, well, this will basically verify what I'm telling you is true, okay? So that wormhole, the data is coming from a cosmic entity and it comes into my mind, right? After they've bent space so that they could bend time. So I'm getting the future pushed into my head, and I'll make a video, and then like that Notre Dame fire. Remember the Notre Dame fire? It burned down after I made that Notre Dame video on my YouTube channel. That's a good example. There's hundreds of examples of that on my YouTube video, and a lot of it's direct and a lot of it's not. A lot of it's straightforward and a lot of it's not. You got to really be paying attention to my videos. It's kind of like that Indian thing that I'm talking about right now with the trash incineration plant, right? So there's all of that. But what I'm getting at, that's what I've seen, okay? So I'll try to find a video of space folding with the wormhole. And then that wormhole was going out into space, and I could just see it unbelievably, like clear as day, right? And then as I'm seeing it, it's like little, pictures of the future are coming into my mind. I know I sound crazy. And look, I'm not blowing smoke up y'all's ass or anything. There's a lot of people that can verify this, okay? This is true. This isn't, I'm not schizophrenic. All right? I don't have any reason to tell anybody this other than the United States government waterboarded me with illegal technology because they knew that somehow I was manifesting reality. And I can prove that. Pinky and the Brain proved that, right? So if I'm manifesting reality and then all of a sudden the United States government goes, how's he doing this, right? Well, they came here and they tortured me with the same technology that they would torture a terrorist with. And that's what waterboarding is. It's an electromagnetic technology that can make a terrorist. They can actually use this technology to radicalize people so that they can do their bidding like the Unabomber. Okay, those people were all under the influence of the technology that I'm speaking of. Of course, it doesn't work here because I had migraines. Remember I lied about those migraines when I went into the Army? Yeah, that's something else. Yeah. That's what y'all are interested in, by the way. My migraines disappeared, then 9/11 happened after you gave me those shots at MEPS. Yeah, and I've explained all of the water surrounding 9/11, right? That water, the Twin Towers, that's my soul you was messing with. I'm communicating with something from the cosmos there. And Saddam Hussein, all that. So that's what the government's doing. If you'll watch Minority Report, it covers that, how they're doing that. They're trying to leach the cosmic signal out of the people with the connection. So the cosmic signal fed them cyanide to expose them. That's literally what they did. They fed y'all cyanide so they can watch all of you die for doing that. So that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, I'll try to find a video of what I'm talking about with the wormhole. And it was really neat, actually. Oh, and there was another thing that I realized. I always said when I lived down there on the bayou, minding my own business, I'm always saying that. Well, there's people out there. It makes sense now because I also used to call myself, when I lived on the bayou, a bio rat. A bio rat. Well, that's what I would refer to myself as. So that would be a biography rat, right? And my entire life story or my biography basically ratted out this technocracy that they are using to influence our minds, to election meddle and things of that nature. Elon Musk rat Love is also a biography rat, by the way. Starlink, Neuralink, Falcon 9 rockets, and Muskrat Love, and he also Tesla cars. What drives the cars now? The GPS does, right? Right, his autonomous cars. And he also has a company that bores tunnels. What did we just talk about? He has a tunnel boring company. So Muskrat Love is one of my brothers there from another mothership. So he's doing a really fantastic job with his biography rat story, exposing what they've been doing to us for a long time with the global puppeteering system, or GPS, and those. There's also that Kentucky Fried Chicken that people eat that gets into their bloodstream and allows those biological nanotechnology to get into your bloodstream, so that global puppeteering system can sway the way you think. Yeah, yeah. Borg Warner Toolbox. I wanted to get a better video of how sushi, because over here it's not there anymore, but she had another trail that went up to the top of the pyramid there. See how it makes a pyramid? And that's where Sky Camacho sits and swings next to the Greek neighbor's house with all of the infrastructure in the background that he built for his ham radio and all of that stuff. That's what I was talking about the other day, but I was a little bit under the influence. But yeah, you see, that's actually her name, Sky Camacho, and that's Grizzly and Lucy for Lucifer and Sushi Q. New keys came in today. That's multi-dimensional for them. What took place in the swing that I was talking about. See how that works now? Well, Alex, I got bad news. You see that little piece right there that's not supposed to come out? That all of that other stuff rests inside of like that? Well, that broke off of my keyboard. So it looks like your satanic cult that's been using me after they hacked my mind to send you information after I got the new keys today isn't going to be able to receive that information anymore because my laptop broke. Probably some sort of message from God telling y'all to go fuck yourselves. Yeah, that's what it is. Actually, I'm getting a confirmation in my head now that you'll just be in anguish looking for information now. The multidimensional information that I send you, because you didn't send me any money for all that hard work and dedication that I put into exposing what you say that you're trying to expose, Alex, even though you won't touch the ethanol story because you're basically just controlled opposition for the government who you say you're trying to take down. Yeah. So you see how that works? So basically, that government hacked my mind and tortured me into divulging information. And then you got all of the information, and that information was things like the real story behind 9/11 and all that multidimensional stuff like Trump and Biden and how all that works, which basically proved that you're all just a big satanic cult of losers. Yeah, but see, Alex won't touch any of that. So I had to do all of that for him, I guess. But like I said, what I'm getting out of this that just took place here with the entire keyboard pulling out there, which doesn't look like I can solder that in or fix it. Looks like you won't get any more information. Alex is just a Zionist, is what he is. He pretends to be a Christian, so because he actually is one of these people that believes that Christians are being deceived, and he just plays along with the game because he lives in a $19 million house, and he goes along with the flow, but he won't ever give the actual information that they don't want him to talk about, like that ethanol story. He's not a Christian. He's a total he's a fraud, is what he is. He's a total fraud, and he's a Zionist who actually believes that the Christians are being taken advantage of, and he actually gets paid money to help those people deceive Christians through controlled opposition, while you never get the actual story like I give Church of Christ. So, the Church of Christ watches my YouTube channel, so they actually know what Alex is now, and they're spreading the word there pretty heavily, Alex. So that's why Alex got Trump elected, as Trump's the same thing. He just was pretending to be doing the will of the Christians when truly they're all technocrat pieces of shit, is what they are. They think they're elite, but they're not, because they didn't even understand the underlying water. They're just drones. They're slaves to a technocratic system that's deceiving the Church of Christ. But You're not actually deceiving the Church of Christ when I proved that even your names were telling on you. You see how that works? Well, Pentagon, my attempts to fix my keyboard did not work. So it looks like you and all your technocratic scumbags in Washington can all go fuck yourselves, because you won't be getting any more intel from me. Oh, and that explosion in my mind that I felt after the videos about the pagan Greek there that was moving out, that built all the infrastructure. Yeah, and I said that, after I recovered there for a little bit, I had that explosion in my mind. Literally, it was like felt like a blood vessel blew in my brain. That was probably all of you who are about to move out. In other words, you're not going to be privy to the downloads that I get. You know what I'm saying? NSA. If you haven't noticed, I made sure that all of that water that I gave you, that information, that underlying information, after you hacked my mind and tortured me for information, hung all of you. I don't know if you caught on to the concept yet or not. I think what I'll do is go work for the Church of Christ now, spreading the gospel and all that water to them that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that y'all set up an illegal technocracy and hacked the prophets so that you could leech the information out of their mind to benefit yourselves, only to find out later that you got played like a fiddle. Yeah, I wonder who did that to you. Dad brought me home some crawfish, said they're the worst he ever had. They didn't purge them, and they ain't worth a hoot. Said that they were hard to peel, too. Of course, all of you in the know understand that that means a Jew, a crawfish. That was the code that was put together there a long time ago. Yeah, so you got these Jewish folks trying to plant politicians into our system that are going to sell a technocracy. Alex Jones is doing all their heavy lifting for them, but all he gets on his shows is these people that look like Pee Wee Herman. If you was paying attention to my emails the other day. Yeah, these people are all frauds. The only reason that Alex stayed afloat and his funding wasn't cut by the Pentagon is because Pinky and the Brain showed up. Pinky. And I started sending him all of that intelligence where I was translating Pinky and the Brain, Pinky to the Brain there for Alex. And that's how these technocrats work. They were going to go ahead, because he's controlled opposition, they were going to go ahead and cut his funding so that Alex wouldn't be around anymore, because he's part of the plan. And he is the controlled opposition to monitor what the opposition's doing, and they're doing that through IP addresses and things like that. And Alex is just a fraud. He's a flake who's part of the same system that he's warning you about. He's kind of the seeker, if you will. So that now that Pinky can't send him that information anymore because his computer broke, he'll go broke and he'll be out of business before you know it. He'll probably be homeless and on the street because they used him up, because that's what he is. That's what they do to sacks of shit, is they use them up. Of course, I still have 3/4 of the key that I haven't sent anybody. So I'll just keep that between me and the Church of Christ from now on. And the rest of you who were going to use that key to your advantage, well, you can all go fuck yourselves and die. If you've been paying attention to Uncle Vlad's Twitter account lately, he's right in line with everything I've been saying. He's actually got a pair of balls, and he's not intertwined into this demonic cult that Alex fronts for. I would be willing to bet that Uncle Vlad will probably point out that they chopped down the rainforest so that they could tell us that we're overpopulated. I bet he's got the balls to do that, Alex. We'll see. Alex tried to convince on his show the other day, he tried to convince the people that are really paying attention that I'm an extreme leftist who virtue signals, after I drew out an entire schematic for a trash incineration plant for India, and now all of a sudden they're pushing vaccinations over there to basically murder Indians. Alex, all I gotta say is I don't think I would go that far out of my way to draw a complete trash incineration plant to solve their trash mountain pile-up problem that they have to virtue signal. there, Alex. And no, I'm not an extreme leftist. I think anybody that's involved in politics is part of the same cult that you are. Yeah, that's what that tweet meant there, Alex. That was the Holy Grail sitting on the table in front of Uncle Vlad, and he had the magician over to the right that had the flying saucer between his fingers. You see how he caught it with his fingers? You'll have to look at the Kremlin president of Russia Twitter account and go back and verify all of that with all those emails that I've been sending, because trust me, they're paying attention. I would be willing to bet that Uncle Vlad considered that news about the Amazon, the Brazilian rainforest down there, the Holy Grail, Alex. But for some reason, this far leftist virtue signaler that I am, supposedly, has the balls to talk about that when you don't. Oh, by the way, Uncle Vlad's actually my uncle that was discovered in Ancestry.com. We're actually related. So last time I checked, it's not illegal to accept money from your family. So what Uncle Vlad's going to do is send the Chocolate Bio Federal, the Chocolate Bio, that was my old bank, Chocolate Bio Federal Credit Union. But the Chocolate Bio Church down there, $1 million, because they need a new foundation for their church, Uncle Vlad. And I would be willing to bet if you wanted to continue getting good information from me and you sent that money to that church and they received $1 million, they would probably bring me a new laptop. I'm willing to bet, and that's completely legal, by the way. Absolutely nothing illegal about that. The Russian Orthodox Church is good Christians, okay? So they're going to help me expose all of this. So if they send you $1 million and you want to just break me off just enough of that for a computer, their Church of Christ down the road from me, you know my address. I'm right down the road from you. Just bring me a computer, please. Thanks. What you can do if you can't find my house, it's 2910 on the same road that you're on. But if that doesn't work out, my brother owns Alvin Muffler Shop, and if you drop something off there and say, hey, this is for Chase, he'll get it to me. I don't want any money or anything, but if I'm going to continue sharing information with the Church of Christ after I block all these other people I've been sharing information with, other than Uncle Vlad, I'm going to need a little help in that computer department there. The latest and greatest MacBook Pro would work. That's really all I need. I don't need anything fancy. That fishing guide trip, you took it to Florida Keys the other day. Yeah, you can go ahead and cancel Alex. He's not actually a key. He's just a misfit and a wannabe who doesn't ever do the right thing when it presents itself like I do. See, I'll actually share information that would be beneficial to the Church of Christ. He doesn't do that. He just plays the game. Just something to think about. Alex actually played a role in getting President Trump elected so they could use reverse psychology into tricking the liberals into eating KFC so that they could all die. What I did was decipher all of that, and then I told the truth about what was taking place. See, Alex never did that. You see what I'm saying? So you got the Florida Keys down there in the fishing guide. One of them's Jesus and the other one's Lucifer. That'd be the Satanic Jesus Church. We both get the same download, but only one of us seems to have the capability to, whenever it's not in our favor, to expose the truth. And I'm supposedly this big leftist. Yeah, I'm not. I'm a conservative Christian, actually, who gets the same download as Alex. But whenever I get the download, I actually tell the truth, unlike Alex does, by the way. If you're really, really paying attention, and you noticed that Trump used to hang out with Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton like they were, butt buddies, basically, is what they are. And you also know that Alex got Trump elected, and I deciphered all of that, and now you know who the real leftist is, right? The real leftist would be the guy who works for the left to kill their own people, right? Yeah, I wasn't trying to kill anybody. I was actually trying to find solutions like trash incineration plants and, moving some Chinese people to Africa to make the people that are homeless in Africa, or the tribes that aren't really living or prospering, and they're just living, one rodent to the next rodent, paycheck to paycheck, to eat on there, around the campfire. Well, if the Chinese would move there and build them some nice houses and stuff, they could probably solve their problem with their overpopulation problem that they have. But then again, you've got that other entity, the angel of death, who is his job to kill people. And Alex plays a heavy role for the left in doing that. He actually helps the left kill people. That's what Alex's role in society is. I'm not sure if y'all figured that out yet or not. And that's why he got Trump elected, was so that Trump could feed poison to KFC with reverse psychology to the left. And that's what they've been doing this whole time, while they tell the right, don't eat the KFC, right? That was the game plan. So Alex helped the left kill themselves from the top down. That's the way they're playing it. That's their strategy that they use, and it's very effective, if you haven't noticed. I just walk on water and I decipher all of this so that I can give it to the Church of Christ, because I know the Church of Christ, they're not going to condone that activity if they know the truth, but what they will do is they understand the entire concept as to how all of that works in an overpopulated world. So they're not going to get too involved in stepping on their toes, but they do like Jesus, who, my people perish for lack of knowledge. So they like it when somebody actually tells them the truth, Alex. And I actually was telling them the truth, and you told me to stop on your show the other day. Remember that? Yeah, you were like, stop giving them information, and click clack. Yeah, no, I'm not going to stop giving them information, Alex, because Jesus wouldn't stop giving his church information. But this team work that we got going here, Lucifer, works pretty good. So I just figured the whole world should know that actually Trump and Alex actually work for the left, and they help the left commit suicide. That's basically their whole agenda there. And Pinky and the Brain spelled all that out for you. And Uncle Vlad's going to send you a whole bunch of money there, Church of Christ. Appreciate it, Uncle Vlad. Say hello to Lavrov for me, please. Thanks. Oh, I get it. Those new keys came in today, and I tried to put them in my keyboard, Alex. And when I did, it destroyed the entire keyboard, so I got to get a new computer. Obviously, what God's looking for is somebody who's not a bought and paid for piece of shit, who will share the intelligence, knowing that it's true. And you can tell a lot about a man by what he won't say. Well, when you have Alex Jones up there, who is given the Holy Grail, even Uncle Vlad said it was the Holy Grail, which is the ethanol story in South America, and he won't talk about that, well, it just tells you that he's a bought and paid for slave. Oh, by the way, Lockheed Martin, who allowed their Oracle to be hacked and tortured by the United States government. The fourth beast, it comes out of the ocean and then smashes the world into pieces. Well, if you'll notice those submarine designs that I sent the other day that would normally stay in my mind, I gave those to Russia, right? Because the Pentagon tortured me for information. So I said, what the hell? I'll just make it available to everybody. So the hypersonic missiles in the pop up submarines where the nose comes open, and they're autonomous submarines that launch GPS guided missiles that are hypersonic, which leave the atmosphere and come back into the atmosphere at 40,000 miles an hour and leave a dent in the earth like Acure, Nigeria did. Yeah, that's the fourth beast, by the way, if you want to get biblical.